Welcome to Angelo State University Center for Innovation in Teaching and Research. I'm John Wagner, and this is a brief video discussing mid-course evaluations, a snapshot for student learning. Mid-course evaluations, as we'll see in a few minutes, offer you an opportunity to reflect on your teaching, and it gives the students an opportunity to reflect on their performance in the classroom. In addition, it gives you a gauge of their progress on learning outcomes and course objectives that you've identified and are working toward throughout the semester. Best of all, mid-course evaluations are between you and your student. There are no administrative offices involved, and the CITR has developed a method by which you can do these mid-course evaluations either in class or through Blackboard. If you're interested in mid-course evaluations, you go to the CITR homepage and you click on Faculty Resources, and at the Faculty Resource page you go down to mid-course evaluations. And as you open up that document, you can see that there are two documents here, snapshot of student evaluations and a snapshot of student questions. The snapshot of student evaluations is where we'll start. And if we look at this snapshot of student learning and discussion of mid-course evaluations, one of the things you'll see is that we've gathered a little bit of information from Carolyn Keitzer's 1993 article in Teaching of Psychology, and she argues that there are 5 distinct benefits of midterm evaluation. In addition, we've gathered some information from the Brigham Young Center for Teaching and Learning, and that reinforces Keitzer's claim regarding mid-course evaluations. Most importantly, I think it's worth noting that mid-course evaluations allow the student and the faculty to reflect on the course learning goals, and it lets the students know that the instructor cares about their learning experience in the course. And it's important that the students understand that. We know that you care about their learning in the course. That's why you do this job. If you're interested in these mid-course evaluations, we want you to know a couple of things, and they're very important things to take note of here. You should do these at the mid-semester point. These evaluations are conducted by the faculty member and for the faculty member. Student responses are anonymous, and you do not need to contact any administrative or support offices in order to conduct these surveys. However, as we'll note at the very end of this brief video, if you need help or you need assistance putting these together, feel free to call the CITR and we'll come by and we'll come to your office and help you put these together. There are 2 ways to do these evaluations. The CITR has established one method by which you can print a document, hand it out in class, and collect that information. We've also given you an opportunity to do this in Blackboard. We'll talk about the paper copies first. Go to that CITR homepage. You'll open up the snapshot of student performance questions, and you'll open up a document that looks like this. And at the top of this, we recommend that you keep this here. It lets the students know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're welcome to keep that. From that point on, faculty will cut and paste or edit the following questions. There are 65 questions in this document. We recommend that you use the first 3 at a minimum. The first question that we want you to ask is whether assignments and class activities are clearly explained. We also would like you to ask the students how they are making progress on the course goals and learning objectives. Both of these questions are important for you. Number 1, it lets you know if what you're saying is what the students are hearing. And the second question lets you know if the students are making progress on those identified goals and outcomes for the course. And it lets you know whether the students know what the goals and outcomes for the course are. The third question is equally important. This is a question that asks the students to write a brief narrative about their progress in the course so far. We want to recognize that these evaluations also ask the students to reflect on their performance and ask the students to reflect on what they are doing or not doing in the class. We want to remind the students that they have to be actively engaged, and this is a good opportunity to do that. After that, there are 64 other questions on this evaluation form, and you can choose the ones that you want. What we have done, since we use the IDEA form for our evaluation at the end of the semester, we've added the IDEA course objectives. They're lifted directly from the IDEA form. You've identified course objectives already. You can put these on there, the 3 or 4 that you've identified, to see how the students are doing at that point. You can also add in your learning objectives, or your learning outcomes, those learning outcomes that are tied to your program goals and either the core goals or the university goals. You can add those to this and also get a sense of where the students are and how much progress they're making on those goals. Now, obviously, you would add in the ones that are relevant to you at the mid-semester point. On this sheet, it's worth noting, as I said, that there are 65 questions. Some of these questions are Likert scale. Some of them are open-ended questions that allow the students to write a brief narrative or a short answer to these. And it's also the case that some of these are focused on lecture-oriented classes, and some are focused on laboratory classes. So at question 50, we have questions for lecture-oriented classes, and when you move a little bit beyond that, we have some questions that are focused on laboratory classes. And then there are other categories within this, so we recommend that you take a look and see which ones will be most useful to you at the midpoint of the semester to help your students achieve the goals that they need to achieve and to help them learn more effectively. If you would like to do this in Blackboard, then for this evaluation, you open up Blackboard. If you have a Blackboard course and you're on when you open up Blackboard, you get to the main page. And if you go to the Support tab and you scroll down from there, you will see the Midcourse Evaluation tab. When you click on the Midcourse Evaluation instructions, it will open a PDF document that gives you specific instructions regarding the Midcourse Evaluation. There are a couple of things that are worth noting when you download these things and you save them. When you open these up to create the Midcourse survey, you are importing a pool and you are creating a survey. Please understand that you do not want to create an exam here. If you create an exam, you can see individual student responses to these questions. When you create a survey, you will be able to see these only in their aggregate form. That maintains the anonymity for the student, and it gives you the information in one big document as opposed to breaking it down student by student, and that's a very important thing. Now, these instructions are easy to follow, and you can print them from this page if you need to do so, so that when you go into Blackboard you can follow them relatively easily. After you have created that survey in Blackboard, you can get the aggregate results after the students have taken these surveys. I'm going to show you one of my courses, and I'll show you what the survey looks like to the student, and I'll show you what the results look like for the students. If you are in Blackboard and you open a course, this is an English 23-25 course, and I gave the survey in week 8. And for the students, the page will look like this. They will click on the survey, they will open the survey, and then they get the 6 questions that I asked this semester. For the faculty member, when you want to check the results, you go to the Grade Center, and in this course we've blurred out the student names, and I've also eliminated all the other assignments. But you can then go to, well, you see you get a check mark showing that the students have completed this, and then you go to the Midcourse Evaluation, you go to Attempts Statistics, and it gives you the aggregate information that you need to use when you want to find out how the students are doing. So this is the short answer information. These are the opinion and Likert scale information. So again, those directions are relatively easy to follow. I do want to draw your attention to something that's really important about mid-course evaluations, and that is that as you do these mid-course evaluations, it is very important after the information is completed, after you have the aggregate information, that you have a conversation with the students. Spend 5 minutes in class discussing with the students the results of the survey. It's important to let them know that you're going to use that in some constructive way to help them learn more effectively. It's also worth noting that these things do tell you important things. In the 23-25 class right there, I found out that the students were, many of the students were struggling with time and reading, and so when we went into class to talk about this evaluation, I talked about tricks and tools that they could employ to read more effectively and to read more efficiently. So we encourage you to utilize the mid-course evaluations. The instructions are here for both the paper copy and for the Blackboard copy. If you would like more information, please contact the CITR. You can contact the CITR at the CITR webpage. You can go to citr@angelo.edu, or you can contact us by calling the CITR at 942-2782. Good luck. We hope that you have successful mid-course evaluations.